Best way to close out the game if your team doesn't understand macro? Probably just team fight. That's kind of how I felt last game. They were just pushing every lane all the time, and it was really stressful. So at some point I just decided that I'm tired of this shit and went mid. It's just, I don't know, solo queue, sometimes people don't understand which waves you need to do and which waves you don't need to do. So you're kind of like wasting a lot of time, and it's easier to just group and fight because it's like hard to fuck that up. Like if Sion is ulting, you know, like you know what's happening. You don't need to like consider anything specific. You know he's going in. So I'd say fighting probably. Best tips for Tristana: farm for late. The champion is the definition of farm for late. At least with Sivir you have like some lane presence, but with Tristana you're either fighting or like really farming for late. But it is one of the better champs to farm for late on though, because you get like your passive and you skill really well with items, so it's not a bad plan. It's just feels pretty bad, I guess, in solo queue to farm for late so much. Tilting train, dropping the $3. Any tips to improve attack move? Just use it as much as you can. Like try to think about it when you're playing the game. Sometimes I actually have to stop myself from using right click as well, because I don't always use like A left, but I know I should because it reduces the possibility of fucking up my movement. I don't really need Gathering Storm on this champion, since I am strong anyways. But I guess it's pretty nice. Like after all, my job is to carry late, and Gathering Storm really helps with that, so it does make sense. Yeah, this looks fine. Let's see if they pick something spicy bot or not. Actually, I'll use the project one. Or should I use the Soul Stealer one? I feel like very few people have this one. Yeah, let's do this for one game. Misfortune counterpick. Oof. That lane phase. About to be rough. I think press is fine here though. But maybe if they go range support, I don't go press, then maybe I should just go like footwork or something. I wonder what they're thinking right now. They see Elise, Camille, LeBlanc, Aurelia. They must be a bit confused. Yeah. Rakan, so press is fine. It's all Gucci. MF Vayne Mania. I guess he got his dream matchup, huh? Alright boys, let's go. Let's go. I have 4 losses in a row I think right now, so let's try to turn it around. Actually maybe I should go like this on Sivir. For sure I should not go domination. For sure I should not go whatever this tree is called, resolve. Cookies would be super nice for lane, because I think this Varus is going to be a poke Varus with corruption potion, TP and comet, so cookies would help me a lot for lane. Never mind. Because I'll be strong later anyways, so I wouldn't necessarily need the Gathering Storm, and Absolute Focus wouldn't be a thing for the majority of the game since I'll just be low anyway. I'm always so surprised because I feel like whenever I play Ezreal, it's free loose, right? Like I just can't win on this champion, but I actually have 50% win rate on him. I just don't know where that 50% came from. Like I can't remember winning games on this champion. Just feels like it's really lost every time I play him. And even though like most of the other picks would be bad for lane, that would be better for the game. And I feel like I would rather just have that. Like, I don't know. Lane was fine until the TP, but after the TP I just don't know exactly what to do with my champion because I'm not strong enough to kill anyone. And kind of become useless. Meanwhile, if I was playing Vayne or something, and even if I die there, I would still be like a threat eventually, you know? Like there's a late game for me. With Ezreal, it just doesn't feel that way. Let's see if it helps putting points in W and E. I mean, obviously W is a must. You must max this spell. Cooldown goes down, mana goes up, damage goes up, root duration goes up. Yeah, so it's not worth to put a point in Q because the root duration goes up if you put points in E. That overweighs any sort of damage that Q would potentially do. Similar to Jhin, I would say. Very, very. But I just feel like I don't need the healing, you know. I want the extra damage. Like, I'm gonna try one like this. Because this is, if it was up to me, this is what I'd go. If this was up to me, I would go like this. So let's just try this and see if the Reckless way works, or if I should just continue with the copying. Because I want like as much damage as possible. I don't really care about the healing that much. I just want people to die when I hit them. And the only reason why I'd go Bloodline over Electricity, because that kind of goes against what I'm saying, is because I think Bloodline is a necessity for the most part. I feel like if you don't have lifesteal, you won't be present for a lot of things. And I feel like I really lack it when I don't go Bloodline. So I've kind of always been a fan of it, especially since after they changed it to 12 from 8. Let's just try this, see how it goes. Checking base movement speed, 335, 345, 345, 335, so I should take Zed or Fiora when I transform later. I'm gonna stop transforming level 1 though, because when I transform level 1, I can't transform back since I don't have E skilled. And it's really annoying when I go into lane phase as a melee. And the melees are usually the one with the highest movement speed. And what I do at the beginning of every game is that I check the base movement speed of all characters. And whichever one is the highest is usually the best to transform into, because it gives you that movement speed. Like when I transform into Zed now, I'll have 345 movement speed instead of 340. So I always check which one is the highest and then I go for that one. But I think I should be much more adaptive than I am with my transformations, because right now I feel like I just transform into the same guy over and over. But if I adapted more to the situation, like let's say I back off and then I transform into Rek'Sai and he gets like super scared, but he's not actually there, he stops up. It's kind of cool how you can like store your attacks though. So like once I get my passive up, I can hold it forever. Kind of reminds me of Kennen. Wonder if my runes are better or worse. I just don't feel like I need the healing, and it's nice with like the extra AD. But I don't think I should go IE last item. I think here I should go Frozen Mallet or something. Like Blade first. I guess I could go Insos first, but I think Blade first is fine. Go Insos second is a must. Hurricane after that is pretty good as well. And I think after that I can go Frozen Mallet before upgrading the QSS. Didn't really feel like I needed QSS this game. Kind of just bought it because I didn't know what to buy. When I went into Worlds, so actually this was something I changed at Worlds. So when I went into Worlds, I played my first, I think it was my first 2 games. Okay, this was my page. This didn't exist back then, but this was my page. And then what would happen a lot of times in those games was that I'd get hit by something from someone, and that's kind of inevitable because in the current meta, everyone deals way too much damage, regardless of what role they are. So it's like really hard to dodge everything. There's always going to be something. So what would happen a lot is that I'd get poked out, and then I'd not be there for whatever was happening on the map. Either there was a Drake contest, or a Baron contest, or a Vision contest, or a Wave contest, or a tower, or a fight, and I just wouldn't be there because I would be low, and I would need like either a red buff, or for it to be like really late game, so I'd have Vamp Scepter after my core items, or for me to have like a healing support, but that didn't really happen either. So I just felt like I was missing out on a lot of stuff. So I made this change after 2 games at Worlds. And then I felt like instantly how I could be there. You know, I couldn't like not recall all the time, and that just made a huge difference. So I kind of made the transition over to Bloodline back then, and I've been a big fan ever since. I feel like it also works really well with Overheal and Absolute Focus. Like the synergy between these 3 are pretty great. Maybe Cut Down is better now. I don't think so, but Coup de Grey has always been like the go-to. Gathering Storm is Gathering Storm, right? Like if the game goes late, it's kind of your job as an carry to take over, and I feel like Gathering Storm helps a lot with that. And then Press is mostly just because there's not really anything better. I feel like Footwork is pretty shit, Tempo is pretty shit, and Conqueror is a melee rune after the nerf. It's not bad, but I'd say it's mostly a melee rune. And it's really hard to use for an AD carry. So you kind of just default to Press for the most part. But if you can use Conqueror, I think you should. It's really OP. That's quite the bot lane, huh? Neeko Kale.